And we'll see if we can get any indication of what this storm is doing. Okay, let's go to severe storm mode. Yeah, okay, so if you follow me, we're looking at inbound, outbound wind, and then we'd like to look at some very tight signatures. And here it is, as I highlighted before. So it seems just to the north of Hannibal, and eventually we'll cross the Mississippi into southwestern Adams County. Again, you need to be in your place of safety. Usually that's a basement. Interior room without any windows, that's also very appropriate as well. Just to avoid windows, stay away from electrical appliances. In an interior room, make sure you get yourself protected for the possibility of flying debris. Hannibal Airport registered a 37-mile-per-hour wind gust as the storm came through. That just came in from the National Weather Service. So again, a tornado warning in effect till 10:15 tonight. Adams, Marion, Pike County, we're keeping a very close eye on this. No damage reports as of yet. Again, it was a radar indicated rotation, which means that there is a possibility that there could be a tornado, could be also rain wrapped here on the southwestern flank, just to the northwest and north of downtown Hannibal. So let's get a little bit closer here on this. Highway 168, just to the north of Interstate 72. And what we're looking at is reflectivity. This is the heavier rainfall that's showing up in the dark red, the orange, and the yellow, and the green. That all indicates some lighter precipitation, but it's all very heavy rainfall. There could be some hail associated with this as well. We're not seeing any distinct debris signature on this. And now we're starting to get some really bad data in on this, but I would expect this is the area that we're keeping a close eye on now. It's progressing almost not quite over the river quite yet, but Marblehead, you're definitely in the path of this. So anybody between Marblehead and I-172, you need to be in your place of safety now. It will cross Highway 57 here just shortly if this progresses to the northeast. So we'll go back on reflectivity mode and show you the rainfall. That's what we're looking at as far as rain. We'll zoom out on this. Quincy getting heavy rainfall. Same across a good part of northern Adams County, Canton, eastern Lewis County, just to the east of Lewistown. Heavy rainfall. And again, like I mentioned before, a lot of these storms have been kind of merging all through the evening hours, putting down some pretty good rainfall, vivid displays of lightning, and now we've got this tornado warning that's in effect. About the next 30 minutes or so. And hang tight, I'm going to see if I can get any more detailed information on this tornado warning from the National Weather Service. We've had very little wind here at our studio. And just going over some other sources of information, and I'm not seeing really anything. All right, so let's go back to inbound, outbound. Okay, we're looking at inbound, outbound wind signatures here from the St. Louis radar. And again, this is progressing fairly quickly to the northeast. Here's the area of concern. To the north of Hannibal and just to almost due south of Marblehead. Not quite, but just about. Again, you need to be in your place of safety, which is usually a basement, or find yourself an interior room away from windows and protect yourself from flying debris. Mobile home, you need to get out of that mobile home if you can. All right, so what we just saw was a kind of an essential trimming down of the severe thunderstorm warning that also accompanies the tornado warning. Mid-level rotation is a little bit on the weaker side, still strong rotation overall with the storm. Now the tornado threat has decreased a bit. Hail now becoming a little bit more of a threat with ping pong ball size hail possible. Wind threat has also become a little bit greater. So that's the reason why they're maintaining the severe thunderstorm warning outside of the tornado warned storm. By the way, that is heavy rainfall in the background that you can hear. All right, so again, if you're just joining us, we have a tornado warning that's in effect till 10:15 for Adams, Marion, and Pike counties in Missouri, as well as Illinois. Not too long ago, the National Weather Service Doppler radar in St. Louis indicated strong rotation, which meant the possibility of a tornado with this particular storm. They just came out with some wording saying that the mid-level rotation is weaker, but still fairly strong rotation overall with this particular storm, saying that the tornado threat has somewhat decreased. Hail has now become a big threat, possibly the size of ping pong balls. Okay, so now they just, Missouri, Marion County, you're in the clear of that tornado warned storm. Now it's just southern Adams County. East of Quincy towards Quincy Regional Airport, then south to the west of Beverly, and right there along the county line. If you happen to indicate any severe weather whatsoever, contact your local law enforcement agency. They will relay that report to the National Weather Service in St. Louis. So what we're looking now is some fairly strong wind associated with this particular storm as it moves to the northeast. This has become a little bit more disorganized. It wasn't quite the gate-to-gate shear that I would expect to see, but nonetheless, It's still pretty potent as this continues to move off to the northeast, about 35 miles an hour. We'll put that back on reflectivity. Now with the radar scans, you can see that it updates fairly quickly, and this storm is booking to the northeast fairly rapidly now. Okay, no further updates from the National Weather Service office, but we'll branch out. We can tell you that there's some pretty good rain that's been occurring with this as it moves across the Mississippi River on into western Illinois. We do have a tornado watch in effect for a good part of our area. Now, this includes the Missouri counties, Monroe, Rawls, Audrain, Pike, severe thunderstorm watch that goes till 10 o'clock, about another 9 minutes from now, for those along US 63 and points to the west into western Missouri. But right now we're just looking at this particular storm. Also want to put on the latest in the radar data with the lightning. And as soon as this populates, you can see some of those lightning strikes, very intense lightning across parts of eastern and parts of central Adams County. Haven't had any reports of hail yet relayed to this. Now we can, okay, this is the wind, so you can see the very strong wind gust associated with this as this does push off to the northeast. So this looks more like straight line wind rather than the signature that we saw earlier. I'll put this back on reflectivity. Rain is slowed down quite a bit in Hannibal. That's good news. But that's the only update that I can see from the National Weather Service. It's going to stay here until the tornado warning does expire at 10:15, or if it is canceled. But right now, we're sticking with it. Outside the warned area, it's a severe thunderstorm warning for a good chunk of Adams County. That includes the city of Quincy, and that includes Mendon, Beverly, and again, if you have any storm damage or anything, you can relay it to your local law enforcement, police, state police, etc. Tell them where you are, and they will relay it to the National Weather Service office. I'll go ahead and put this into motion and show you exactly what has transpired here the last several hours or so as the radar data begins to load. Whoops. There we go. Okay, lots of lightning here with this. This is the last several hours. This goes almost back to about 7 o'clock or so. And you can see the storms kind of move off to the northeast as the overall area kind of drifts off to the north. So it's one storm that was kind of chewed up by another, and this is what we've got going on now. Lots of lightning associated with this. So we'll turn off the lightning layer on that. Really not seeing anything that is impressive as far as any gate-to-gate coupling with inbound, outbound wind. It's either bad data or it's just being smeared. But they're still maintaining the tornado warning, and again, this goes until 10:15 tonight. Again, you need to be in your place of safety, out of a mobile home, in a sheltered area, away from windows, interior room, or the basement. That's the best place to be. And wait until the storm passes. It looks like Marblehead, you may be in decent shape out of the immediate threat. Still raining. But lots and lots of rainfall with this particular cell. Palmyra, yeah, you're going to get some pretty good rain here shortly, and off to the interchange of 24 and 36. Unfortunately, no new updates from the National Weather Service office. I don't have any immediate spotter reports. And it's really difficult to get specific radar data this far from the radar site. And it just looks just a little bit dirty here on the inbound outbound wind, but again, if we go back to reflectivity, it's coming down right along I-172. Excuse me. But again, Marion County, the threat is out of your neck of the woods. Northeastern Pike County, Illinois, it's out of the woods. I believe we're getting a little bit of hail here at our studios in East Quincy off South 36th Street. Sure sounds like it. But nothing new from the National Weather Service office in St. Louis. Still maintaining the tornado warning. That does include areas just east of downtown Quincy that extends towards Liberty, Richfield, Payson, right to the Pike County line. Marblehead, you're still included in that, but it looks like the worst is just past, just about past you. So again, when a tornado warning is issued, we kind of go with it until the National Weather Service cancels it, or if the warning has expired. And that is indeed hail. Trey, if you can pop up cam 1 with me, I can highlight what's going on here. Essentially, it's this red area that is included in the tornado warned area. This is basically including a good chunk of Adams County. This is the Pike County, Adams County line. This is the Mississippi River, and it's all points to the northeast. So what we're keeping an eye on is any kind of signature as far as rotation. Now, we just got a little bit of hail at our studios just within the last moment or so. And now I can see that they've upgraded the severe thunderstorm warning and expanded it just a little bit farther to the east. And that may include far northern Pike County, Illinois. But overall, this is the area that we're keeping a very close eye on as it crosses 172 just to the north of Payson, and eventually here just, well, basically just right along Old Highway, there's Old Highway 104, and then points off to the north. This would be, I think, Highway 104. It's not labeled, but nonetheless, you can see where that rainfall is and where that particular storm is going. No updates from the National Weather Service yet. And I, for one, I like updates. I do not like silence when you got a tornado warning going on. So let's go ahead and take a look and get our bearings here. So yeah, this would be Highway 104 from State Street going this way. So now we've got our bearings. Again, large hail may accompany this in the form of the size of ping pong balls as it continues to push off to the northeast. All right, so we just got a new radar scan. And let's see if we can pinpoint anything specifically. Not really. All right, so we're going to do this. We're going to show you the radar loop so I can reset my radar. There you go. Lots and lots of lightning associated with this, lots of rainfall. And the last several hours shows exactly what those storms were doing. And then we'll go ahead and pop up the Doppler once more. And I will turn off that lightning. Okay, much better. All right, so again, if you're in a mobile home along and south of Highway 104, west of Siloam Springs State Park, you need to get to your place of safety with this particular tornado-warned storm. Again, we've not seen or heard of any specific tornadic activity. Radar indicated initially rotation. That rotation was somewhat diminishing a short time ago, but still very overall, the storm structure still showed some pretty strong influence that it could produce a tornado. So hang tight, if you will, just a moment. All right. the rain beginning to kind of wrap up at our studios, but not necessarily the case here. Right along Interstate 72, some very intense rainfall that extends almost to the Mississippi River. Payson, you've been getting rain, but you're going to get some pretty good rain here shortly. Heavy rain along and south of US 24. But again, if you've seen some severe weather, if you've seen tree limbs that have been knocked down because of wind gust, contact your local law enforcement agency, and they will relay that report to the National Weather Service office. Trying to see if there is any updates on social media. And we are not. All right. So, and no word from the National Weather Service office. So, we'll continue with this here until we get an update from the Weather Forecast Office. Here we're coming up on 10:07, and again this tornado warning came out about almost a half an hour or so ago. So now we're looking at this area that encompasses a good part of central and southwestern Adams County. Still a possibility of a tornado, although one has not been detected. Storm spotters have been out and about and also on the quiet side. Not detecting anything other than what we've had is some, thank you. That's what happens when you get tangled up in your own wires. Nothing detectable as of yet, but again, it's a possibility that this was rain wrapped or could still be rain wrapped. We're not quite sure. So if you're just joining us, we do have news, but right now our attention is on this tornado warning that did come out. I think the National Weather Service is kind of looking over the data as to whether or not to continue this or to just to allow it to expire. But we'll let you know if we hear any updates from them. Again, the data started out pretty good when it was over Marion County, but now it's just not looking as distinct as it was earlier with the inbound-outbound wind, but very heavy rainfall associated with this as this continues to push off to the northeast. And they're also looking very closely on the tornado watch that was in effect. Let's highlight that here real quick. Tornado watch was issued earlier, Monroe, Rawls, Pike, and Audrain counties in Missouri. This goes until 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. So they're looking at doing quite a bit of work right now and making some sort of decision with that, in addition to what we've got ongoing, and that is this area, Adams County. Outside the tornado warning, we've got that severe thunderstorm warning that's still being maintained for a good portion of Adams County. Unfortunately, tornadoes are a little bit more difficult to detect at night than they are during the daytime, which is particularly a dangerous situation when it comes to these kind of thunderstorms. So, again, you need to be in your place of safety. We've got about another 5 minutes with this tornado warning. Heaviest of the rainfall making its way now across the intersection of Highway 96 and I-72 to the southeast of downtown, right along Interstate 172. Some pretty good heavy rainfall. Again, Marblehead, I think you're in decent shape because the worst seems to be over for you, at least the immediate threat. You got more rainfall off to your west and to the southwest. And the Weather Service basically reflecting what I said earlier. A lot of merging has taken place. It has weakened quite a bit. It's also lost a lot of organization and height, so they are not going to reissue anything at this time. That's good news for Adams County. And we will go ahead and just say, with that said, we're going to allow that to go bye-bye. Again, we've got some pretty good rain that's making its way through. Beware that there could be some further warnings issued down the pike, but right now they're just going to go ahead and let this tornado warning expire as expected at 10:15. So we've only got several more minutes to go. We'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and break away back to regular programming at this time, but we'll let you know if anything else does pop up from the KHQA Weather Center.